many papers for being an extremist. You have.
So what, bro? Daily Mail. Who's Daily Mail, bro? Daily Mail attacks the anti-Islamic all day, every day. Do you think it's an honor?
That's why you were in. That's why you were in the Daily Mail.
It's a badge of honor for me to be on Daily Mail. I'm like, salute. I'm happy. Yeah. I don't care about that. The point is this: you haven't condemned the 66 killing of from your terrorist state Israel. You haven't. You didn't even condemn the guy who said they have done it to themselves. You know what that means?
You didn't let me answer.
You
asked me a question and then put me down.
You are as good as an ISIS fighter coming to the park and justifying the actions of ISIS, yeah? You are a terrorist supporting scumbag. I'll tell it to your face because I don't like being shy, yeah? I don't look at your face because you're vile. If you've noticed, don't look at your face, yeah? You're disgusting. I'd rather look at this gentleman's face, yeah? You are disgusting, vile, terrorist supporting 66 killing children, yeah? That's it. You can have a little statement of Israel sent flowers before they bombed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And so, I'm sure many of the cameras will disappear, but this is why Jews need their own state. This is why Jews need their own state. There used to be over 1 million Jews in the Muslim world. Now there are more Jews in Bournemouth Synagogue than the entire Muslim world because of attitudes like this. Jews tried living under other people and it didn't work out for us. And now that we defend ourselves, now that we actually stand up and fight back...
Mike's.
I don't know whose it is. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Jews lived side by side with Muslims in the Middle East for centuries, but we lived under Muslims. We lived under Muslims. We were not equal. The minute we got equality, which is we got a state alongside dozens of Arab and Muslim states.
Were you murdered then?
Pardon?
Were you murdered? Were you attacked physically?
Where?
When you lived
anywhere. It depended on which caliphate. So for instance, the Almohads who came after Al-Andalus and came from North Africa, they slaughtered hundreds of thousands of Jews. Other caliphates were really good to the Jews. It really depended which point in history you're talking.
In North Africa?
So for instance, in 1517, when the
you were living like a king in North Africa. Don't lie.
In 1517, when the Ottomans conquered
you were living in Morocco, now you are living like a king.
When they conquered
all over.
When the Ottomans conquered Israel in 1517, they slaughtered the Jewish community in Hebron. Al-Khalil. The Jews were slaughtered. So it depended.
What about the Christians?
Muslims. The Ottomans. You know your Christians also killed us. That's why we need our own state. We tried living under other people. It didn't work. It didn't work. And look, all the mice guys saying this is just a Jew. They're only interested in the sound bites of Ali Dawah and the Muslims.
Because we need Joseph, you need someone to say no.
And this is the tactic they use every week. It's a tactic every week. Adnan ran away, Ali runs away. What they do, they shoot, they make ad hominems, and then they run. Ad hominem,
You didn't
run.
You didn't run away with the question when I asked you last week the question.
What was the question? I wasn't here last week.
How to lie, but he knows how
What was the question? What was it? I'll answer it now. What was the question?
No. Why you didn't answer last week?
I wasn't here last week.
He wants to be the eternal victim, so no one looks at his
No, 100%.
blood loss.
I was with my family. You didn't help me last week. I promise you. Look at any video. I was not here last week.
You didn't come with the fight?
No, that was the week before. That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Yeah, I did come 2 weeks ago. What was your question? So I tried to answer every question.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think if Muslims were to live under your umbrella, they'd get the same treatment?
Perfect.
I mean, it would be a lot worse.
So it's a great question. He said, if Muslims lived under Jews, would they get the same treatment? So Israel, 2 million Muslims live there. They have complete equality. The highest performing group in red. So we'll get the West Bank, but he's talking about living under Jews. He's talking about, and so Israeli Arabs, yeah. So
they are now in.
Hear me out, and then we'll get to the West Bank. We'll deal with both. So the highest performing group in education in Israel, religious group, are Christian Arabs. You have Arabs who've sent judges at the highest levels who've sent Jewish prime ministers and Jewish presidents to jail. Yeah. So I have many Muslim friends who serve. One of my favourite diplomats I'm very close with, Ismail Khaldi. He is a Muslim Bedouin, and he's in the Israeli army. He's in the Israeli diplomatic corps. He used to work at the embassy here. and now he works in a different embassy. But there are Muslims throughout Israel who have complete equality. What he's talking about is the West Bank, which is different, because the West Bank is not under the same rules. In the West Bank, Palestinians are under what's called the Palestinian Authority. Yeah, they vote in Palestinian elections. If they commit crimes, they're tried in Palestinian courts. So they're under the Palestinian law. Jews who live in the West Bank are under Israeli law because Palestinians refuse to allow any Jew to be a citizen. Article 6 of the Palestinian... No, hear me out. Articles, in settlements. No, not illegal, in settlements. It doesn't matter about what the UN reckons.
So it's only you then?
So again, do you want to talk law? We can talk law. But let me one point at a time. Then we can get to the law. Then we can get to the point. The United Nations has issued more critical resolutions against Israel than every other country in the world combined.
Without any meaning, really. I mean,
No.
they can just bypass them so easy.
No, but think
The UN can say whatever they want.
You was the one who actually gave them that land.
So you don't understand how international law. No, what created Israel was Ben Gurion declaring independence for the state of Israel. The United Nations voted to recognise. The British abstained from the vote. The British in the 1948 war, the British led the Jordanian army, the Arab Legion, were